We're back talking about some of the worst parents on TikTok. Yes, that's right, the resilient Jenkins. And the last time we talked about them over a year ago, they had been evicted from their home, moved into a motel, and abandoned their cats, all while talking about the suffering that they were enduring. And for those of you that don't know, Drew and Stephanie were living in a one-bedroom apartment with their 4 children, and Stephanie was pregnant with their 5th. While the 2 parents had the bedroom, the children slept in the kitchen and sometimes on the floor until viewers bought bunk beds for them. With Drew walking out on a previous child and Stephanie having children with a known offender who's now in prison, it's safe to say that their lives have been a mess even before they were evicted. Over the last year though, things have spiraled out of control, and be it accusations surrounding Drew cheating on Stephanie, from losing their Facebook account, their children having seizures, and Stephanie panicking about Drew possibly leaving her. It's been a controversial year and it's only getting worse. And if you don't know, they have an Instagram account with over 45,000 followers, and of course you can't forget their bread and butter, their main TikTok account with over 300,000 followers. So Stephanie and Drew moved their family of 7 from a one-bedroom home to a motel. And they did this because they were handed a eviction notice. She refused to let her mom watch the kids while she went through this process and even take care of the cats, essentially abandoning the cats, which she did say they called animal control, but sometimes they euthanize animals when they're abandoned like this. But luckily, all of the cats now have proper homes. So once they got into the motel or hotel or whatever they want to call it, they would naturally upload a video of themselves organizing everything and moving stuff into their new home, where in the description Stephanie can be seen once again defending Drew, saying that Drew is not some selfish do-nothing gamer, claiming that the PS5 is a lifesaver in this time because it's the device providing entertainment for the children via TV. And they have like 3 TVs going at once in this small motel. A week later, she would give us this lovely update video letting us know exactly how it's been going living in a motel with a family of 7, with her saying in the description that it's spring break, but being together makes us stronger and helps us process everything. And then subtly advertises Drew's new TikTok saying Drew's perspective is coming soon. He may start sharing his side of things over at resilient mean dad Jenkins. And I actually couldn't find this one that she linked, so maybe they deleted it for whatever reason, but he's up to 20,000 followers now. And apparently they're staying in the motel as long as they need, but the goal is to eventually find a house, which I would think you would want to find something relatively fast so you're not living in a motel with a family of 7, where she would upload a video with the caption reading, "Of course, our mini priority is finding housing. Ridiculous to assume otherwise, honestly," which is an absolute wild thing to say, especially considering that they've been living in a motel for over a year now.
So it's officially been a year that we've been living in a motel.
And she would seem to be missing her old kitchen, which, you know, who could blame her not having your own kitchen and living in a motel where the kitchen is the living room and the living room is the kitchen. It can suck, but, you know, no one's to blame but her for being in that position. She would upload a video saying, "I miss having a kitchen so much." People would say, "I miss having a kitchen, but have a 2024 car that doesn't fit all the kids." It's easy to have a kitchen when both adults are responsible enough to get employed. Hope this helps. And I guess they were moving from motel to motel and moved into a updated motel room.
Now this one that we're moving into, it has a full-size couch that pops into a queen-size bed, a bunk bed, and then the bed is a queen-size bed, not a full. And of course, we're going to move the bassinet over as well. So if you can do the math, that's more than enough bedding for everybody. So this one comes with a full-size fridge. The bathroom is separate from what we're going to be using as our kitchen area. No more toothbrushes right by the cooking area. Definitely going to be a little more comfortable while we're here.
And as they move everything into that motel, which had all the space in the world, sarcasm, it has no space now. I mean, if somebody uses that bathroom, you're going to be able to hear everything that's happening. So this is no space for a family of 7. And as usual, she claps back at her haters in a TikTok video and then explains that she's eventually going to find a house. And for some reason, she changes her accent in this video. I guess this is her sass or clapback accent. I don't know.
I gotta know, what's that like being so agitated with someone else that you don't even know, that you send the popo to their house 3 times in 1 week? How many times and how many people are gonna show up at our door and do said welfare check before y'all gonna catch a hint that these children are perfectly fine? Ain't nobody being traumatized, nobody being scarred for life. Absolutely not one of these kids would rather be anywhere but with me and Drew. Like, honestly, what has got y'all so heated? It ain't even your life and you so upset about it. You act like the inconveniences in my life are more inconvenient for you than they are for me. Make that make any sense?
People would say I heard like 4 accents in this video. Being homeless is traumatizing. This woman is always fussing at us. How can you find a forever home with no jobs though? And in the middle of all of this, Arlita, Drew's ex-baby mama, had came back with an update. She would say that Andrew was being held in contempt about child support, and it was because he was doxxed that she was able to serve him. But when they went to court, Drew did not show up on time.
So he's being held in contempt of our child support order.
Drew would respond to this and say that he didn't go because he was in the hospital. He would say, hey everyone, I'm not behind bars like I'm sure people thought I would be. I guess I had a 2 to 3 minute seizure and didn't come to until I got to the hospital. We don't know the cause except was a couple of hours of taking my heart medication. I hit my head on the wall and ended up with a few goose eggs. Stephanie would make a video about this and say she is sad Drew being in the hospital. She mainly speaks on herself and says that she's waiting to be stress-free. She would also say that they have taken self-employment for their health. She would go on to say that African Americans almost always have their health concerns dismissed, and then says when Drew was interacting with paramedics, she questioned their assumptions, saying they thought it was fake or substance abuse, but she says he was not acting like himself and that she was worried for him. She would then go on to take shots at Arlita and say that she is jealous. And then she would get pretty angry about Deshawn's custody issues.
So as you probably already know, well, some people may know because Drew posted about it. Drew went to the hospital this morning. I've never been the type of person that just likes to seek attention or wants people to pity me. That's why I find it goofy when people think that like I'm playing this lifestyle of broke because I want attention. Like, that's the fucking last thing on my mind. That'd be silly. I think if there's people who do legit play like they're poor as we are for attention, there's something deep inside wrong with you. Deeply wrong. We've taken the steps, we've taken self-employment and pursuing different routes for not just his health, but my health included. And you know, I don't give a rat's hairy ball ass about your freaking statements of, well, I got this, that, and the third disease, and my husband has this, that, and that, and he'll still go to work and all that. Guess what? That's your decision. You think I didn't want to fly off the mouth the first few times that I seen that his exes posted? Because what is that? Y'all had nothing to do with my life prior to me going viral. You had nothing to do with mine and Drew's relationship. You had nothing to do with this. And you see, his significant other is starting to do good, and you can't handle that. You have to come in and try to get your piece. You have to come in and try to stomp whatever success Drew might end up having because of his significant other. And don't get me fucking started when it comes to Deshawn. That shit is getting me. I've done nothing but be there for that kid. He calls me mama. Who's he look for in the morning? Me. Who does he rely on for food, clothing? Me. And I make sure he has it every time before myself. Unlike you. Try to remember that.
And a month later, on May 12th, Drew once again does not appear for court.
So this fool didn't appear. I was giving him grace. I thought he was going to appear. I was really giving this man grace. I thought he showed up. I was like, okay, nope. No.
And would you believe it, among all of this, there was allegations against Drew for cheating. In fact, there was a whole TikTok made just for exposing that, called Drew's Side Piece. And essentially what allegedly happened here was that Drew got catfished. And the Drew's Side Piece account goes live and says that she got Drew to turn up at the airport, but she said she wasn't there. During a live stream, Drew would tell Stephanie that he's not stopping her from leaving and she can if she wants to.
I'm just gonna work on things. If you want to go, I'm not stopping you. I wasn't stopping you 4 hours ago.
Stephanie would go on to post a video talking about Drew potentially cheating on her and her crying.
I don't mind. I expect it to be any different for me. I mean, like, y'all said it, like, that's how it went down with his exes, right? Just cold-hearted, like, out the picture, like, the kids don't matter. No, because I thought, like, he actually fucking loved us, you know? Thought I was too free. What the fuck?
But all of this fighting wouldn't last long, as Drew would be back and she would be loving him again.
Oh, but you guys ended up just getting right back together, so this was just rage bait at its finest. Or perhaps it's 24 hours we should have stayed off the f***ing internet. You feel me? Perhaps it's just that Drew and I should have handled our shit without getting the f*** online. And I'm gonna fully admit that started with me.
It would say Drew 100% went outside, drove a block, realized he had nowhere to sleep and no one to cook for him, so drove back. It probably took 23 minutes. At this point, you deserve this life. So what I'm hearing is he cheated on you, got caught, and when you confronted him, he gaslit you till you second-guessed yourself and what you knew. He cheated, Stephanie. He cheated and then gaslit you, and you fell for it. So yeah, apparently he left for a little bit and then came back. Stephanie would also go on to make a post about this saying, "I just need our supporters to know that side piece account is a false account created by someone trying to create a negative image about Drew to achieve gaining the rights they want. A vindictive way about it, if you ask me. I'm ready for this drama to be over. I wish people would just see things for what they already are. And using my insecurities to try and break me and Drew apart because you feel that's the easiest way to gain your rights. It's just another level of messed up. I miss the level of uninterested in our lives the two parties were prior to Drew and I going viral. I speak on it because this particular action just went a little too far. Why couldn't we all just get along and created a drama-free co-parent experience?" I don't really understand what she means by that account trying to get their rights. What right is she trying to get? And personally, I don't think haters are trying to be vindictive and bring her down. They're just pointing out things that she's doing wrong. And when you put yourself out on the internet like that, you're gonna get criticized. It turns out she has a lot of things to be criticized for. If she never wanted any of this and wanted her life to be more private, well, she probably should have never posted on the internet and should quit posting now. And then there's the random allegation that randomly slipped out during a live stream where she said her mother SA'd.
I wish y'all would stop with that. I wish y'all would stop with that. My mom SA'd was, no, my mom SA'd was, no. My mom is not a good person. She's awful. Okay? I'm not calling my mom.
And of course, Stephanie's mom made a response to this, defending herself.
I have literally been hurt and crushed by a lot of the crap that Stephanie has gone here and said about me. But for the first time, I am legitimately about as pissed as I can be. Blatantly fucking pissed. That little slip up of her, my mom essayed, ha ha ha, and then trying to play it off. And then y'all jumping in going, oh, I knew her mom did this. I knew her mom did that. I knew her mom was capable of this. How do you know that? You've lived with me? You've walked a mile with me? You've worn my shoes for a little while? Tell me, how do you know anything? How do you know shit? How? How would you know that? I have never harmed anyone. Why would I do such a thing? Why would I be that kind of a person? How could I be? You people just crack me the fuck up. That you jump in and you believe her like that. Good Lord. You have no clue. That girl opens her mouth and all that comes out is lies, lies, lies. And don't come on here and tell me I don't have the right to defend myself when she's dragging me through the fucking mud like this. And Stephanie, you need to knock it the fuck off. One day I'm not going to be around anymore, and how are you going to feel about that? How are you going to feel when you hear your mom's dead, your mom's gone, and you didn't repair the relationship? Tell me how you're going to feel.
People would say, we believe you. How does anyone giggle after a SA accusation? Considering Stephanie has been caught in multiple lies, I stand with you. I'm sorry you are dragged into this. Sometime last year, the resilient Jenkins set up a GoFundMe. This was to fight the legal battles from Deshaun going back to Desiree. Well, suddenly, this GoFundMe vanished, leading people to question what was going on, because allegedly it raised quite a bit of money. And after a long time, Stephanie eventually finally explains what happened to the GoFundMe.
Hey, y'all, I'm sorry if this is kind of crappy lighting, but I just really wanted to take a minute and reach out and say this because I'm sure some people are kind of curious, like, what happened to our GoFundMe. So let me take a second and say I tried to log back into it a month or so ago, and it told me the account did not exist. I looked into my email that I set up the account with, and I didn't even have like an activation email or anything like that. It really looked like I just did not set that account up, period. So what I went ahead and did just to kind of test it out is I set an account up the exact same way I did before, same email, same username and everything, and it let me do it as if the account really does not exist. There wasn't anyone who set that up previously. And if you know us, you should know this was definitely some kind of phishing activity. Somebody knows what they did. But also I want to point out that you can go in there and see where that GoFundMe is and see that none of the donations have been used. It's still sitting at the balance of what it would be for every donation. I have been trying to figure out how to contact the GoFundMe site, and y'all, I'm really not the best at this stuff. That's why I try to be open and honest with you guys about it, because I'm not trying to scam anybody or be wrong with this money, but I'm trying to figure out how to get into contact with the site and let them know what happened, see what they can do about it, and probably just officially shut that GoFundMe down, because it just didn't go the direction we were hoping as is.
And while complaining about how she can't mop the wall properly, essentially admitting that her old house was bigger than this motel, at the same time they were trying to keep Deshaun and not let him go to his mother, which would probably be a better space than this tiny motel. And one of their tactics to keep Deshaun was to go online and ask their audience for help. But this time it wasn't for money, it was for someone to co-sign so they could get an apartment.
I guess conditionally approved for our place, but we need some assistance or help. And normally I don't do this, but we're looking for somebody. I don't normally do this. I want our family out of here. We got three bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. When we can sign and get us out, I don't care. I'll do whatever. That just means I can sleep more. I can sleep more peacefully, for I can be rested, for I can have energy to do what I need to do. If the people saying that they'll co-sign that's legit, hey, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. 3 bedrooms, Stacy. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Backyard, garage, little side yard area, whatever, front yard gated. We'll have to do our own landscaping or yard work or whatever it is, whatever. Yeah, it says conditionally approved. No, we're not fully approved. Yeah, this is the house, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. I'm just trying to get us out of here. Trust me, we can afford it easily.
And notice how he says that they can easily afford it, but it wasn't too long ago that Stephanie was saying that they were poor.
I've never been the type of person that just likes to seek attention or wants people to pity me. That's why I find it goofy when people think that like I'm playing this lifestyle of broke because I want attention. Like, that's the fucking last thing on my mind. That'd be silly. I think if there's people who do legit play like they're poor as we are for attention, there's something deep inside wrong with you. Deeply wrong.
So which is it? They're poor and they can't afford it, or they can easily afford it?
Me and my family really didn't get along, so I don't really talk to people I don't get along with.
In the end, they don't get anyone to co-sign, and I would have been extremely surprised if someone did co-sign, and they don't get the place and are eventually denied. And then Stephanie goes online and rants about how they are not going to have heated bathrooms now.
Be that bitch with the warmed up bathroom, you know, the one where you could just like program your floor in your shower. But no, that's okay. Resilience builds every day. It's freezing in here.
And that brings us to the washcloth controversy. And before I reveal exactly why this was such a big deal, the first part of this has to do with Stephanie using washcloths and leaving them in the shower. Now, these washcloths were used to clean her children whenever they used the bathroom because she was tired of using wet wipes.
But one thing I'm going to do every time I do laundry is pull all of the towels and make sure all the towels get washed. And you may be wondering why the abundance of washcloths in the bathtub, and here's the reasoning behind that. I gave up on the concept of wet wipes like a freaking few months ago. I lost track of how long it's been since I used wet wipes. But I have next level squirmy toddlers when it comes to being changed, and I'm not trying to have poo all over my freaking elbows, so I'd rather just pop them babies in the shower every time. And if that means they need to have 3 showers a day, so friggin' be it. Now that's a you do what you do, I do what I do type of situation. Because you want to sit there and judge me, baby, you could learn some things from me, okay?
And allegedly she has maggots too. But that same bathtub that she used to store these rags that had poop on them, she also used to wash her dishes.
You want to know the truth? No, I won't tell y'all. You're way too soft for that. Clean out the tub a little bit before I start the dishes. No, I'm not going to use the same freaking sponge I just used for cleaning the tub to clean the dishes. That would be a little bit nasty.
And there were also videos where it appeared that there were roaches on the dishes as well. Stephanie would respond to this saying that they have separate doo-doo rags and face washing or dishwashing rags.
I can't tell sometimes if you just like to make up crap because it benefits your views and you like continually see the pattern of every time you speak some crazy crap about me, you get the views and you know, whatever. So let's break it down for you. I really think I didn't separate them. I'm washing my baby's bums with the same rags that I wipe the floors and I do cleaning with. No, man, come on now. Blue ones are all of our body wash rags. The kids know this stuff too. Any of the microfiber or all of the cleaning rags that do not get used on our bodies. The miscellaneous ones that I have are what you like to call the doo-doo rags, and I'm going to touch base on that too. Separate from all of those, we have the face wash rags, which I need to get more of, but we still have them and they're separate from everything else. I don't know why it's such an issue that I prefer to use rags versus wipes. There's many reasons why I went into this, and it didn't just happen. Okay, there's a few occasions where Drew was at work and he couldn't bring wipes to me, and I just, you know, I didn't have wipes on hand, so I used the washcloth, and I ended up liking it a lot better because it's just my preference. I mean, I feel it's no different than people who choose to use cloth diapers. I mean, they're going to be rinsed out, washed, and reused, and that's the same thing that's going on with these rags.
Given that the hygiene of their surroundings are questionable, and with Drew's apparent seizure that stopped him from going to court, there may be major health concerns here. Especially when there's a clip of Stephanie stepping on a piece of bacon on the ground, and then 10 seconds later, her baby eating it. And on top of that, 2 of her children are now having seizures.
Hey guys, a little update. This was about 7:20 last night when our baby girl went into a seizure. She is fine and okay. She is back home. She went through some testing. We have some calls to make to get some extra testing done. We don't know what happened. She was walking around just fine, and all of a sudden she sat down, laid on her side, and yeah, that's when it happened. I was asleep for my nap before work at the time when Steph got me up. I didn't know what was going on. I just saw my baby girl on the floor and sprung right into action. Again, she is okay. She was very out of it after she was done having a seizure.
News of the second child also having a seizure would come out before Drew wanted it to which Drew would make a TikTok addressing it.
It was less than 24 hours before we could figure out what's going on, before the information was out from I don't know who, which is crazy. You're getting access to ambulance calls or something like that. I don't understand, but you know, yeah, he did have one. He's okay. I took him to the hospital and he's on medication and he's recovering, so that's good. But to the individuals that are doing these kind of things, is you guys are, I don't know, don't have anything else to do. I'm not sure. That's a little crazy.
Stephanie would also go on to make a similar video ranting about how information became public before things became clear. She would go on to mention epilepsy as it runs in their bloodline, but the kids haven't actually been diagnosed with it yet. But a lot of people speculate that it might have something to do with their living condition and possibly even lead. And so finally, days later, Stephanie tests for lead and it's revealed that there wasn't any lead. And it should be noted that they didn't actually dig into the paint and just swab the surface, and that's not how results come accurately. Plus, they used a cheap test. People would say these swabs are junk, bottom line. The only only real way to tell is using XRF. I know this because we live in a 266-year-old home and spent over 3 years doing lead remediation work, and my husband even got certified. The fact that she's monetizing this and turning it into a joke is so gross to me as a mother of a child who had lead poisoning. There was even speculation that she was changing the hues on her video in order to change the color of the swab, and that some people think she swabbed the wall with only half the Q-tip, and she was showing the other half that she didn't even swab with the wall. And this raised even more concern when a video was going around online of Atlas eating paint chips. Many people have speculated that little A is the one doing the wall picking. They never engage him, so he has to occupy himself. I feel so bad for that boy. He hardly gets out of the motel. Every time they're doing something outside, he's not there. If I had to guess, he probably gets out of the motel once a week, maybe. And on top of all of that, there would be a video released where it showed their child's foot. And I'm not going to show that here, but the foot looked to have a literal hole in the bottom of the foot. People would speculate that it was caused by HPV by being barefoot in unhygienic places. And it's a little difficult to make out the image here because it's a little blurry, but it does look like something is on the bottom of the foot. People would speculate wondering if it comes from their bathtub or the floor conditions. I was raised to believe that your children's physical appearance is often a reflection of the parenting job you do. Everything about these children, through no fault of their own, screams neglect to me. Not a single aspect of their well-being is considered. I don't even think they're loved. Stephanie would make a post about this saying, as much as some of you would love for me to post a picture of my baby's foot, I'm not about to just do that. If I was worried about the BS the internet likes to spread, I would probably be a recluse. There's nothing wrong with her foot. Yeah, her feet were dirty. I was literally in the process of cleaning and she was walking through the pile. But I'm curious what you think, so please let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the video, and I'll see you in the next one.